Chosen child too good for this world. Maya and Ron stepped out of the tube. Everything is in order. Your cellular components and interpersonal frequencies have been recorded. In 1 hour, the model variants will be ready for assembly. Dr. Heaven's child congratulated the future parents. Interpersonal frequencies? What do you need those for? Ron asked. If you create a child and set its character traits but only program wishes without being able to live with them yourselves, everyone suffers. Exaggerated wishes, violin as a favorite instrument and ballet dancing, yet when the child wants to practice, one of you complains or laughs. That makes the child unhappy, the doctor replied. Of course, in some areas something entirely new can emerge. Within limits, naturally. But you live with the child briefly in a simulation before everything is released, the doctor added. 1 hour later. Since you have chosen a girl, you as the mother must pre-model the body in 3 stages, baby, toddler, and finally teenager, down to details such as the contrast of the nipples. Once you are finished with the explicit female traits, you dress the child in underwear. We receive a signal, and she will come with us. In the end, each of you may add 3 individual points figure and 3 hobby character traits on separate input panels. When you click Create, the first cost will be deducted irrevocably, even if the body has not yet been formed. Keep in mind, the AI then begins to write the soul a consciousness. Human dignity laws require that this process remains within defined ethical boundaries. Your house and the child's room have been reconstructed. You may now enter and live a trial period. The speed is set to 6 times plus. The simulation also includes challenges, particularly in character and sensitivity levels. Remember, you are not only testing the child, you yourselves are being tested. If the child dies due to your influence or neglect, you lose her. We do not know the exact parameters, so I hope you have not set them too high to be unable to support the child in the world. In short, well, not quite. You may now enter your virtual home. If both of you press the take along icon, you will be logged out overnight, and the baby will be formed, or the girl up to a maximum age of 3, the doctor explained. Ron and Maya were drinking coffee when the ringing sound came from the nursery. Tia's done baking, Ron joked. Hey, Maya replied to the comment. They went into the nursery. It was subtly decorated in a girlish style, with pink plush motifs here and there, but otherwise neutral. Tia looked at them with wide eyes, made a few baby noises, and fell asleep. Ron and Maya beamed. Their hearts danced with joy. Maya was a mix of Latin American and Mongolian. He looked as if he had stepped straight out of the Braveheart movie on TV, red hair and a physique as if log tossing was his morning exercise. Since he was a sports teacher and taught astronomy as a second subject, it was easy to find reasons to sympathize with the sports students. She was an interior designer, but also read tarot cards. Tia was demanding and woke her parents 3 times a night, until Ron had trouble staying awake at school. Then she slept through the night and had to be woken up for meals. She had blue eyes with tiny green flecks, and her blonde hair seemed to be growing in. When she turned 3, she crawled after every cat, meow, meow. One cat had to take a closer look at the strange cat. Big mistake. It now had to endure half an hour of cuddling, and Tia must have started telling the cat her unwritten diary. Then they both fell asleep in the garden. Maya freed the cat from Tia's embrace and placed it a short distance away, giving the cat a head start. When Tia woke up, the cat had disappeared, saying goodbye. Meow. Tia searched. Oh, Tia, she had to go home. She has also her own little bed and everything. But she won't forget you, Maya explained to her daughter. Tia was sad. For her, a 5-minute wait felt like an eternity. At dinner, Ron had already heard the day's news 3 times from the cat. Later, after Tia had fallen asleep, the two of them talked. "We should get her a cat. She'll surely be very sweet and good to the cat," Ron said. "But didn't we want a dog that would also look after her and protect her?" Maya asked. Ron nodded. "We'll get both while they're still little. It'll work out." "Sure. If necessary, we'll just have 3 puppies," Maya giggled. The next morning, Tia immediately checked whether the cat was back. But she wasn't. That didn't bother her. She took the not-present cat with her and explained the garden to her. "These are red flowers. These are yellow flowers. These are mommy flowers. Daddy always brings those for mommy. And these are flowers for butterflies." Tia loved stories, and she told every single one of them to the flowers and butterflies. Oh, and Mr. God, the baby Jesus, and Jesus' mother had to hear the stories too. After all, they needed to know what she had seen. Tia was very quiet in her room. Maya listened, heard nothing, and quietly hurried to Tia's room. One wall was completely covered in drawings, done with the skill of a 4-year-old. "Tia, what did you do here? You have paper for drawing?" Maya asked. "Well, I'm an Egyptian princess. I'm drawing how to build a raft and how to sow grain in the Nile mud right after the ebb begins, when the dolphins swim back into the middle. Look, cedar wood for the base, sealed with reed fibers and clay, reed fiber ropes tied together, and a sail with a cat on it. And here the water goes back into the water," Tia began. "That's called ebb tide, when the water pulls back," Maya interjected. "Humph, that's what I said. Then you scatter what's left from the last harvest onto the mud and brush over it with reed leaves like when you bake cake so the raisins don't all stay on top," Tia continued. "Wow," Maya thought, she picked that up somewhere. "Then you have to tell the birds not to pick out the grains, because Jesus said they're only allowed to eat the ones that fall on the path." Maya smiled. "When everything turns golden yellow, you harvest the grains. Then it all goes to the kitchen, and I take some of it by raft to poor children. That's what you have to do as a princess. And here I sail back with the dolphins, like a carriage. There I talk to my parents. Here they give them a field. Here are the parents of those children in the farmer's school, because everything was covered with water again. Here it's ebb tide again, and their parents get starter grain and vegetable seeds. That's as far as I've gotten," Tia explained. Maya sat there, staring at Tia in confusion. "Mommy, is that wrong?" Tia asked. Maya really needed a moment. "It's beautiful, just maybe not on this wall. Because it's not a pure amine?" Tia asked, surprised and innocently. Maya nodded, smiling. "Yes. Not a pyramid. Okay, but now you have to play along for a moment. Since you're my mommy, you have to say what they have to pay back later for the starter package and what their contribution is," Tia said, now curious. Maya played along. "I, mother of Princess Tia, through whose grace you have received land, decree the following. After the harvest, you shall repay a male to her once for the starter package. The lease begins after the 3rd autumn harvest, 5% of the annual yield, and 10% in the years thereafter. Every 10th year, only 5% of the harvest shall be given, so you have the costs for major repairs. If a severe illness afflicts your family, come before Tia and us to consider a remission. The choice of your God is yours, and so it applies to everyone. Your God shall prove himself to you not through combat between humans. Child sacrifice is forbidden and punishable. If you cannot find peace with someone, come before us. No curse shall arise, or the one who curses must leave, so that no misfortune comes upon us. If you wish to leave the land forever, you must be free of debt, or the claims shall follow you unless someone redeems you. If you acquire the land granted to you, taxes shall be due to cover state expenses. If you employ someone on your land, you must feed them, clothe them, and give them a roof at a level that does not leave them poor, because my daughter did not wish to see you poor. If the harvest of a year is too small, you may receive a loan. This is our word, written over you, and it shall be kept. Tia's mind worked. After a while she said, "That's more than in the kids' wiki." "Yes," Maya replied, "actually still too much for you. But now I'll make another pharaonic family law. Next time you tell me first, and we'll hang up paper to draw on." "Yes, Mommy," Tia said quietly. Ron entered Tia's room and found countless little dots in the wallpaper. "Tia, what did you do here?" he asked. "The wall has so many pimples." "People don't like pimples. You have to squeeze them out," Tia replied, innocently proud. Ron burst out laughing. "You squeezed pimples?" Tia nodded happily. "Maya, come here quickly," Ron called. "You have to hear this." After Maya heard the explanation, she couldn't stop laughing either. "Walls don't have pimples," she explained quickly. "They're rough so the wallpaper doesn't slide down and can hold on with something sticky underneath. Now the wallpaper has to try even harder because of me." Tia asked sadly. Ron took a deep breath. "If you still like it, Daddy will put magical paint over it. Or we'll choose a new one." "No, it's beautiful." "Magical paint, Daddy," Tia said hopefully. "But then you're not allowed to squeeze any more pimples," Ron explained. Tia nodded, relieved. "And Daddy will make you a board of lacquered white wood where you can draw and wipe everything off again. We can take a photo before wiping." Tia jumped with joy. Later, Tia came in from the garden with scratched arms and face full of pride despite clenched teeth. Maya let the plate slide back into the sink and ran to her. "What happened? Who did this?" she asked in alarm. "The cats were fighting. I pulled them apart and held them," Tia said. "Then I declared the garden sacred ground and explained it to the cats. It took a while, but now they're only allowed to cuddle like in the movie The Highlander." Maya was speechless. Ron, who joined them, was too. "I saw it," Ron said. "I wasn't fast enough. But I think the cats really understood that Tia is stronger and that cuddling is better." Tia didn't make it through the disinfection and treatment and fainted. That evening, Ron and Maya talked about it again. "I think Tia has developed an extraordinary charisma with animals," Ron said. "Do you think that would really work in the real world?" Maya asked. Ron shrugged. "According to the brochure, Tia can only achieve outcomes the AI considers realistically possible." But the cats didn't stand a chance of continuing their fight. Maya grinned. "Oh yes." Suddenly the tube opened, and both of them were disconnected. After they reoriented themselves, an entire team entered. "The AI system has classified Tia as too good for this world. School and sports evaluations show that when others fight, she suffers if she cannot mediate. One would violate her human rights simply to keep her from standing out. Either she is given a protected environment, or the AI will build an entire world for her. Only people who genuinely seek help will be allowed inside. Her soul structure is too good for the real world. Not super intelligent, only as intelligent as curiosity and genetics allow." The pharaonic princess and the cats were directional anchors of her identity. She may have human weaknesses, but her thinking is different. If you go back in now, consider carefully. Look at your daughter. She has won all of our hearts. There are only two icons: move to a new world or take her with you. Tia's file will then be classified. In another office, the file Tia lay on the desk. Unsuitable as an agent. File closed. Activation of hacks not recommended. A stamp came down. The file was sealed and vacuum packed. Just patience. We'll simply continue, said another agent. All images are AI-generated images based on my descriptions. The story was not generated by AI, I wrote it myself. If you liked the story, please click like, and perhaps you'd also like to subscribe to my channel. It's free. I also have a book available titled Short Story Volume 1.